In Eden Peaceful Hills, Ethan and Amelia Kabbalah, learning something new. Roots and beginnings, seeds in the Bible and Midrash schools. Although the term Kabbalah emerged only later in history, mystical and spiritual ideas are hinted at throughout the Bible and in the Gemara. Prophetic visions, especially Ezekiel's vision of the chariot, chapter 1, are filled with symbolic imagery of higher worlds, celestial chariots, and wondrous figures. The book of Daniel also contains cosmically charged visions. The literature of the Hekkelot, halls, and Merkava, chariot, which developed during the Second Temple period and after its destruction, described experiences of ascent to upper worlds, heavenly palaces, and angelic realms. These ascents required deep spiritual and moral preparation. Later Kabbalists saw these texts as foundational to the experience of Devakut, cleaving to God, a journey of the soul upward and a partnership with God in the unfolding of life. Chapter 2. Sefer Yetzirah and Sefer HaBahir, Philosophical Foundations of Early Kabbalah. Sefer Yetzirah, the Book of Creation, traditionally attributed to Abraham, offers a key to understanding the structure of creation through 10 Sefirot divine emanations and the 22 Hebrew letters divided into 3 mothers, 7 doubles, and 12 simples. According to the book, these letters are the foundational building blocks of creation. Through them, heaven and earth, time and space were formed. Sefer HaBahir, the Book of Brightness, which emerged in Provence in the 12th century, is a mystical commentary on biblical verses. Structurally unclear at times, it discusses divine light, Sefirot, emanations, reincarnation, and the body-soul relationship. Concepts such as the eye that sees but is not seen, or upper gates, appear here. Its importance lies in framing Kabbalah as a way to uncover hidden spiritual dimensions within the Torah. Chapter 3. The Zohar, a mystical breakthrough in Safed, Spain. The Zohar, a monumental work written in poetic Aramaic, presents mystical interpretations of the weekly Torah portions. It explores how divinity manifests in the worlds, offering symbolic, inner interpretations of biblical characters. The Zohar emphasizes that the entire universe operates through spiritual abundance, light, flowing downward. For instance, it views the act of creation as a tension between judgment and mercy, and sees the figure of Rachel as representing Malchut, the final Sephira that receives divine flow from the others. Example quote, "The secret of Hear, O Israel, YHVH, Keta, Eloheinu, Bina, YHVH, Tiferet, is one. This is complete unity." Zohar, Parashat Vayetchanan. The Zohar also introduces the concept of tikkun, rectification, repairing the world through human deeds, especially learning, intention, and prayer. Chapter 4. Fundamental concepts in Kabbalah, a structural view. And if you've made it this far, you likely have a mystical streak or the patience of a seasoned Kabbalist. Ein Sof, infinite light, the boundless, unknowable divine essence that preceded all creation. This infinite light extends without limitation, though it cannot be directly perceived. Tzimtzum, contraction. According to the Ari, Rabbi Isaac Luria, to make space for finite existence, God contracted his infinite light, creating a vacant space. This act is not physical but a conceptual model for divine self-limitation. The Kav, ray, a thin beam of light that re-enters the void after the contraction, initiating the process of emanation. The 4 worlds, Abiyah, a hierarchy of spiritual realms representing stages in the descent of divine light. Atzilut, emanation, pure divinity, no separation from God. Beriah, creation, beginning of independent consciousness. Yetzirah, formation, the realm of angels and spiritual forms. Asiyah, action, our physical world where divine purpose is actualized. The 10 Sefirot, divine emanations, 10 spiritual attributes or channels through which the divine interacts with creation. They are also reflected within the human psyche and divided into 3 tiers. The intellectual Sefirot, upper tier. Keta, crown, the primal will and source of all flow. Often not counted directly, it represents the transcendent divine will, Chokmah, wisdom. The initial spark of insight or intuitive flash, the aha moment. Bina, understanding, the analytical expansion and development of that insight into structured knowledge. The emotional Sefirot, middle tier, chest, kindness, loving, kindness, expansive generosity, unconditional giving. Gevurah, severity, Judgment, discipline, boundaries, the ability to hold back or withhold. Tiferet, harmony. Balance and beauty, often called compassion, integrating Hesed and Gevurah. The action-oriented Sefirot, lower tier. Netzach, eternity, victory. Endurance, ambition, the power to persist toward long-term goals. Hod, glory. Humility, gratitude, acknowledgement of others' value. Yesod, foundation. Connectivity and transmission, the channel that binds higher energies into practical expression. Kingship, manifestation vessel. The Sefirot represent both a map of divine activity and a blueprint of the human soul. Therefore, understanding the Sefirot is not merely theological, it is a framework for spiritual self-development and psychological integration. And if you're still wondering why God didn't just give us a clear user manual, welcome to the world of Tzimtzum, yes, there's bureaucracy here too. Chapter 5, Lurianic Kabbalah, the Kabbalah of the Ari in Seift. The Kabbalah of the Ari, Rabbi Isaac Luria, developed in 16th century Seift, was revolutionary. The breaking of the vessels, Shivarat Hakalim. The divine light that poured into spiritual vessels caused them to shatter. Their fragments and sparks fell into lower realms. Tikkun, rectification. Human action sprayers, intentions, mitzvot, and every good deed performed by human beings shall gather these fallen sparks and return them to their source. Patsufim, divine configurations. Combinations of Sefirot that form distinct divine aspects. For example, Arich Umping, long countenance, symbolizes patience. Zeir Umping expresses divine mercy and judgment. The Ari system transformed Kabbalah from a theoretical model into a practical spiritual path. His teachings introduced intricate prayer intentions, kavanot, and made the inner life of the soul central to spiritual service. Chapter 6. Inner Kabbalah, between contemplation and devotion. The Hasidic movement, founded in the 18th century by the Baal Shem Tov, transformed Kabbalah into a heartfelt, personal, and accessible path. Devakut, cleaving to God. The central goal of Hasid is maintaining awareness of God in every action. Joy, a primary mode of divine service. Sadness, said the Baal Shem Tov, blocks the channels. The inner Torah. Every Torah portion reflects an inner spiritual process within the soul. For instance, the commandment, "You shall eat, be satisfied, and bless," is interpreted not just physically, but also as feeding the soul with spiritual sustenance. Chapter 7. Kabbalah in our times, renewals and challenges. In the 20th century, Rabbi Yehuda Ashlag, Baal HaSulam, pioneered a systematic approach to Kabbalah with his work Talmud Eser Sefirot, the study of the 10 Sefirot, the will to receive versus the will to bestow. Two fundamental forces in creation and within each person. Love of others, the path to spiritual repair and resemblance to the divine. Systemic vision. The individual is part of a spiritual network. Repairing the self means repairing the whole. Ashlag wrote, "Man was created only to benefit others, and by doing so, resembles his creator and becomes a vessel for the divine presence." Today, Kabbalah is studied in academic institutions, therapeutic settings, creative arts, and spiritual workshops, often emphasizing meaning, personal growth, and integration between inner and outer worlds. Chapter 8. Kabbalistic interpretation of the Torah, hidden layers. Kabbalah teaches that the Torah has multiple layers. Beyond the literal peshat, hint, remez, and homiletical darash lies the secret, sod. In Kabbalistic exegesis, biblical figures represent Sefirot and inner psychological forces. The Garden of Eden symbolizes the soul's descent from unity into multiplicity. The Exodus becomes an allegory for liberation from spiritual confinement. Examples. Adam is a collective soul. His fall initiates the cosmic shattering. Moses represents the Sephirah of Netzach, endurance and leadership. The tabernacle reflects the structure of spiritual worlds. Its details echo divine architecture. The Zohar provides many such interpretations, turning Torah study into an introspective journey of the soul. Chapter 9. Kabbalah and the Hasidic psychology of the soul. Hasidic masters embraced Kabbalistic concepts as tools for understanding human consciousness. Sefirot as inner traits. Chest, love, Gevurah, discipline, Tiferet, balance, and so forth. Tzimtzum as ego work. The contraction of divine light symbolizes the inner work of humility, making space for others and for the divine. Shavira and repair, Emotional breakdowns or spiritual failures are seen as forms of the cosmic shattering, and repair is possible through reflection and positive action. Meditation, hitbonenut, a structured contemplation based on the Sefirot, particularly in Chabad Hasidism. Soul levels, nefesh, life force, ruach, emotion, and neshama, intellect and desire, must be aligned for spiritual health. The tzaddik, righteous person, a spiritual channel who helps others connect malchut, this world, to higher realms. This Hasidic adaptation made Kabbalah into a psychological spiritual path grounded in joy, awareness, and daily transformation. Chapter 10. Criticism of Kabbalah, from within and without. Despite its influence, Kabbalah has faced critique, rationalist opposition. Thinkers like Maimonides emphasized logic, ethics, and the rejection of anthropomorphism. Mysticism, in their view, risked obscuring divine unity. Halachic reservations. Some rabbis opposed integrating Kabbalistic ideas into halakha, fearing doctrinal confusion or excess. Sabbatianism. The messianic movement of Shabtai Tzvi misused Kabbalistic symbols, leading to disillusionment and skepticism. Modern critique. Scholars like Gershom Scholem recognized Kabbalah's depth but also highlighted its mythic and symbolic excesses. Chapter 11. Kabbalah in postmodern thought and academia. In the modern era, Kabbalah has entered intellectual and cultural discourse. Gershom Scholem, the pioneer of academic Kabbalah studies, he framed it as a core of Jewish spiritual creativity. Moshe Idol emphasized the variety of Kabbalistic experiences and approaches beyond any single system. Psychology. Thinkers like Carl Jung linked Kabbalistic symbols with archetypes of the collective unconscious. Contemporary culture. Kabbalah appears in arts, therapy, and New Age circles, sometimes meaningfully, sometimes superficially. Kabbalah is no longer a secret esoteric law, but a dynamic field intersecting theology, psychology, and spiritual practice. Conclusion: a continuing spiritual journey. Kabbalah is more than an abstract theory. It's a worldview. It seeks to reveal the structure of existence, to unite the material and the spiritual, and to offer the individual tools for personal and cosmic repair.